Has everyone ever been to club officer training? Can I see a show of hands? Club officer training is kind of something we all do in Toastmasters if you're a club officer. What you may not know is what the behind the scenes situation is when you do club officer training. I'm going to detail what club officer training is about, 3 simple ways to make sure that you're good to go with club officer training, and I'll wrap it all up in a bow. So club officer training requires you, number 1, to get 7 different trainers. Each trainer has to have had 1 year's experience in that particular officer role. They also need to have been to a train the trainer session. That train the trainer session is pretty key. We are not talking to the wall here. What we're doing is we're facilitating. Our goal is to talk 30% of the time and have others share best practices about 70% of the time. In addition to that, if it's an evening club officer training, you need to see about food, which means you need to charge a fee, which means you need to find a method to collect money. WUFU, Eventbrite, many other ways of doing that. I've tried 2 different ways. I found one that I found was successful. You also need additional help. You need someone to help you with the registration, even though most people sign up online. And you need to make sure that everybody is checked off as they come in the door. The 3 things I learned from doing this that are really, really key is, number 1, always have 1 or 2 backup trainers if you need them. The reason this is important is 1 hour before training, one of my trainers was extremely ill, couldn't make it to the training, and we were kind of left in the lurch. The thing I learned from that, fortunately someone in the audience stepped up and ran the training and did a fabulous job, so much that I asked them to come back and be a trainer, which they are planning to do. I was very grateful for the help. The second thing that I learned is when you're running the training, it may or may not be okay to be a trainer. In my particular case, I've been Vice President of Education. This is the 3rd consecutive year for 3 different clubs. While I enjoy doing the training, I get quite a bit out of it personally by doing it, and it also counts for some of my educational requirements. I also realize that when things go sideways, you kind of need to be able to step out of that role and make sure everything gets taken care of. One of the cases in point that happened to me is I was at the 1st floor of the Wells Fargo Learning Annex. I had over 60 people signed up. Thought I was fine. When I talked to the community manager, said, "Oh, by the way, Tim, you're on the 2nd floor in a room where I'm pretty sure that 60 people was pretty close to the edge of the fire code." Fortunately, we got through the training no problem. I was very grateful for that. But it was kind of tight quarters for everyone. And I think I made some adjustments to correct that in the future. The third thing that I found tremendously interesting is, like I said, unexpected situations. Losing a trainer, losing a venue, making sure that everything is correct, making sure that everything goes smoothly. Asking for help. I was very fortunate in one training I did where one of the ladies that I know just immediately went to registration and started collecting the money. I didn't ask, she just did it. But as I've learned after doing 2 of these, I'm now asking for help up front rather than have somebody step in and help out. So I've learned a tremendous amount by doing club officer training. It is sometimes really wrangling cats to get everybody lined up, but On the other side of that, the paperwork portion of that is also relatively challenging. There's a lot of paper that needs to be printed, whether it's evaluation forms, handouts, or what have you. So I would sum everything up by saying club officer training is really an important thing to do. I think that with proper planning, help, and effort on your team's part, you can easily succeed and put on a quality training that everyone will enjoy. While it's not always self-evident, the work that goes behind the training, even as a trainer, I did not really realize this, but I've learned that that is a skill that can be learned and you can work on it and you learn as you go. Thank you.